Good morning, Kabroda crew. Welcome in. Hopefully y'all are doing well today. We're back at it with another live stream today. Looking a little bit nicer than yesterday, honestly, as we're kind of doing a little pre-market or pre-live stream, kind of just checking out the charts and whatnot. Yeah, looking pretty good. So we'll have to jump into it this morning and get our levels set up on our chart, kind of see where we're going. But first off, I want to say good morning to everybody. So welcome in Spirit Maker, welcome in Kathleen, welcome Terry. Hopefully y'all are doing good. Thanks for joining the live again today. We're looking to check it out, take some trades, hopefully get into something nice. Like we've been saying, it's kind of looking like we're gonna get along. We've been kind of talking about the long kind of forming since this spike up here, and kind of been talking about that bottom being in here as the chart kind of dropped down, and we're basically saying that was the bottom there. We're firing out, and now we're looking to take a continuation long to the upside. We thought it was going to happen yesterday. Unfortunately, it did not. Ended up kind of really going sideways to down yesterday. In our video that's coming out at 10, we actually cover that. We actually were talking about the possibilities of ways you could probably actually trade that. I believe that's in the video as well. But it wasn't in the system, so it didn't actually play out. But we were talking about a little more, maybe some advanced ways we could have looked at that. Check out that if you're interested in kind of seeing what we're talking about, and maybe learn a little bit. We're getting a little more advanced, learn some TA, learn how to use the system a little above and beyond what it's really meant for. That's kind of what we're looking at yesterday. That's why we're looking at that long for sure. Overall, looking good on the longer time frames. We're above our flip line. We kind of held above it yesterday. Not quite, but pretty close to it. So looking good in terms of the longer time frames here, especially on the daily. Let's get our charts set up and see where we got. You can see all of our lines are on here. Like I said, this is our beta indicator we've been working on. We got a bunch of I got mine filled out today, so you can see I have all the levels from prior week or so. So we'll have to replace Wednesdays today, so we can change it up and see what Wednesday's price action is. But basically, we got our battle zones. So every time there's 3 lines from all of these levels that line up within a 2% gap or 0.2% gap, that's where you'll see one of these zones. And some of them are actually our other indicators, so we can go ahead and turn those off so they're easier to see. You can see we got some different zones down here, specifically at 68, 1, 69. We got some here, we got some here. Yesterday we actually came down and it kind of hit right on the dot with the right here. We came down and hit those 2 right here. So we kind of spiked down, hit the first one. We kind of thought that was the end of it. We were talking about that's probably where we would have pulled our small trade if we were looking at taking that more advanced version. And then it kind of bounced up and continued down and actually broke down, and we thought maybe it was going to continue and go all the way for this one, but it ended up stopping around there and continuing back up. Overall, pretty interesting price action. So we'll go ahead and set up our lines today, see where they're at, maybe see what we can get. Looking pretty good for today. All right, we'll head on over to Kabroda.com and check out our levels. So you can see today we got a couple different things firing off. So we got a BTC long at 1.26%. It's a jailbreak, so pretty good position there on the long side. No short today. We only got 0.35%, so we're in that death zone chop. Nothing good for the downside. Ethereum's got a 1.2% jailbreak here, which is Pretty good for Ethereum. Not, yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Jailbreak trade. We also got a downside trade here on Ethereum as well. This one's a magnet. So not as good as a jailbreak, but it is something still to consider. So if we do end up breaking down, we got an Ethereum trade here. No BTC trade though if we break down. And then we got a Sol trade as well. We got a little bit of a long. Not too great, still in that death zone. So not really something we would really be looking at if we do end up breaking long. If we end up going short though, we are looking at a little bit of a jailbreak down to the downside, so there's a possibility of down here on Solana as well. So Ethereum and Solana have that downside, and then Ethereum and Bitcoin have the upside as well. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, let's get Bitcoin set up and see where that one's going first. So we'll go ahead and get the data button here, click on that. We'll head back to our trading view here and open up our thing. Yours will only have one of these if you have our indicator, but you'll just go ahead and paste the level strand into it. So just click on it, select all of it, and then either Control V or right click and paste. In mine I have to go ahead and turn on the levels. There we go. So these are the levels for today. We're going to go ahead and turn off the labels. There we go. So you can see we got our breakout line right here. 30-minute range is kind of on top of the breakout line, and then all the way down to here. We got our daily resistance right here on top of the breakdown line, and then we got our we got our daily support down here in blue, the blue dash line. So pretty good gap, as you can see. If we take our measurement from our breakout line all the way down to the daily resistance here, you got about a 1.26, so pretty good. Looking nice for the upside trade. We're in a nice little flagging pattern here, so we're looking like a nice little breakout is in order. Right now we're forming that predator candle, looking pretty good there as well. So yeah, really not a whole lot to complain about here on BTC. It's looking pretty good for the long today. It's looking like it's setting up. Definitely something we're still watching. It's not obviously full on just go jump into the trade right now, but it is setting up in terms of our system. So we're just waiting for this candle to close, and then hopefully we'll get the break of our green line here, our breakout line, and then we can close right above, and on the next candle we'll jump in. And then we can take it to the upside. In terms of targets, we'll go ahead back to Kabroda.com and get our trade for the day. So we'll go ahead and copy our long key here, and we'll head back here, head back to our trading view, and we'll throw it on our indicator here. And our long for today is going to look something like this. So we got a target here at 72.5, target at 72, 850, 860 something. Yeah, 860, I guess. And then 73,423. So not too bad, looking pretty good. We'll throw the trade on here as well, just to make it easier to see. So we'll get in around there, taking our stop way down there, target up here. So about a 1.67 in terms of the full pull, if we're going all the way up to target 3. But we've been kind of looking at some different levels here. We've been talking about some different levels throughout. So there's some definite zones at like 75, 80K that we're kind of watching for. 80K's been something that we've been kind of looking at for a while. So we'll see what ends up happening. Now, will it do that today? I don't know. We'll see. As always, target 2 is the most likely target to get hit. So if you're just going to take this, you might as well just pull it right at target 2. that's always a good time to take it. You make about a 1-to-1 with the stop way down here. Yeah, we'll see how this sets up though. Here coming in, we might end up taking something a little more like this with our stop kind of below the prior candle to the breakthrough. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, that is a little more risky of a move. Obviously, this other move with the stop down here is a lot safer of a move. It's a lot more, a lot less risky, a lot easier to get into, not worry about it coming down and hitting your stop and all that. But you know, you risk a little more, you make a little more, but you know, there's to be said too about risk and reward. So kind of up to your own decision on there. The system, if you're following the system to a T, you're going to want to throw your stop down here. That's where the system says to throw it, so that's where you'll throw it down there. But yeah, if you're trying to become a little more advanced, maybe trying to become a little more advanced, that's a little more advanced move to move your stop up like that. You do need to be careful when you do that, but yeah, like I said, again, we're just here to educate, so that's kind of the education, I guess. There is just that this is the best place, obviously, with our system, but you can move it up. Let's go ahead and set up Ethereum, and then we can come back and see how Bitcoin's doing after the close here. So we'll go ahead and head over here to Ethereum. We don't have our super crazy indicator on here, just the regular one. So we'll go ahead and set up the different levels on it. Show you guys a little bit how to do it with the normal indicator, I guess. So we'll head back to Kabroda.com. We're going to go find Ethereum. So we already got it right here. Head on over to the data button and copy it. And then we can head back to the charts, open up our settings, and go ahead and paste the levels in there. And this is what we're looking at for today. So you can see a little bit different than Bitcoin. You can see that the breakdown is pretty significantly, it's significantly lower than it was on Bitcoin. You can see the 30-minute range is closer to the top. You got that daily resistance down here, not as far down as Bitcoin's is, in terms of just looking at them almost as pretty similar charts. We'll head back here though, and we'll grab our trade so we can see what that looks like. So we'll go ahead and copy it, head back here and paste it into our indicator. And this is what we are looking at. So a little bit better of a trade, it looks like. If we go ahead and throw it on here, looking at taking it somewhere here, stop down here below our 30-minute range, and we'll just target 2. We got about a 2.23 to 1, so not too bad. That's a pretty good trade there. You put on $100, you make about $123. Oh, well, sorry, $223. So not too bad. Pretty good little chunk there. If you're looking to take something, it's definitely worth looking into. So yeah, we'll look at both of them today as we're kind of going. These are what we're looking at though in terms of the trades. So we're looking for price action to break and close, and then we'll get in on the next candle over. So and we want to wait past this candle as well, so we don't want to jump in before the 8:45 candle, 8:45 Central Standard Time. So whatever that is for you, just whatever the candle close is in here in 30 seconds or so. That's the candle you don't want to jump in before. So we want to make sure we get a close after that above the breakout line, and then we'll go ahead and jump in on the next candle over. So Bitcoin's about to close. Looks like our predator lines are pretty close, pretty good looking. We're pretty close to the breakout area here on the top predator line, and then the bottom's pretty close to this 21 here. Good it just looks good for yeah, just taking that trade as we close above. If we can break this and close above, we'll be above both the Predator and the breakout line, which is always a good sign in terms of taking the trade. It's something that we'd like to see. So yeah, not a bad setup in terms of the long. Definitely looking likely today. Definitely setting up good. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait another 15 minutes or so as that kind of sets, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, though, we can go ahead and set up our Solana chart as well and see where that one's at. So Solana's looking pretty similar. You can see we kind of have that sideways price action. We're breaking out a little bit already here on Solana in the day. And we'll go ahead and set up our levels. So we'll head back to Kabroda here. Click on the data button over here on the side. And once we get all our data, we'll just go back here to open up our indicator and paste the new stuff in there. And this is what Sol is looking like. So you can see we have a nice jailbreak gap to the downside. That's what we were talking about earlier. So if you take the measurement here, we have about 2.5556. I believe our website says it's 5.6. So yeah, not too bad on the downside. In terms of the upside trade, there isn't much of one. Just like the website was saying, our daily resistance is right here, kind of in the middle of the price action. And the gap between those two is not too great for Solana. 0.55 is what we're looking for at Bitcoin. Solana, though, is a little bit different. So seeing a 0.55 on the Solana chart is not a great gap. Still within the death zone, so not something we're really interested in kind of looking at today. If we do end up breaking down, which is not very likely, not out of the cards, but not very likely in terms of just how the price action is kind of setting up and how the system's setting up today. Solana would be the one to Solana would be the one to look at if we were thinking about taking it down. But yeah, it's just got a lot of room to run down. You know, if we come down, we're gonna have to go from $93 all the way down to $89, and then that'll just be the start of our run. So we'd have to come down even farther all in one day. Is it possible? Absolutely, but not very likely. Same thing with Ethereum. We do have that downside trade. Like we were saying, it's a magnet trade, so we'd need to come from this $2,190 all the way down to around $2,125, and then that would be the start of our run. We'd basically just take it down to this 2,104, 103 range, just down to the daily support here. So nothing too exciting, I guess, on the downside for Ethereum. There's definitely a trade down here. It's one, it's not very likely, and two, it's just not that great if it does end up happening. Looking like we're climbing out a little bit. One thing we're kind of watching as we're waiting for price action to set up is we want to see Ethereum and Solana kind of playing along with how Bitcoin's kind of reacting to just reacting, I guess. So you can see Bitcoin starting to move up here. Well, I guess the candle right now is kind of what we call, I guess, the Darth Maul candle. So you got one wick on one side and a wick on the other side, and then the candle body's kind of forming in the middle. Obviously, it's not closed yet, but that's what it's forming right now. Solana, you can see, is still trying to push up a little bit. Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin with that that candle, not as much downside, but on the wick, but definitely looking pretty similar to Bitcoin. So overall, they seem to be following pretty nicely. Really, you want to be watching for if Bitcoin starts to move up, especially to break out. We want to see Solana and Ethereum kind of follow suit. If not, lead Bitcoin out. So you want to see like Ethereum breaking out almost harder than Bitcoin is in terms of that. That basically just shows us that they're all ready to go, I guess. And we could wait a little bit here on Bitcoin for it to kind of fire. Excuse me. Could be a little later in the day. We'll see. You know, you never know. It really just depends on how price action wants to play out. It's looking like we want to get a breakdown maybe. We were talking about a possible breakdown here to our daily support before we continue up and get that breakout today. That's still in the cards. It's a possibility. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Everything is still out there, so we don't know yet. We're gonna have to kind of just keep an eye on price action today and see what happens. You can see Ethereum and Solana are kind of following suit right now, rejecting off that 21, just like Bitcoin. So overall, nice price action running here. The main thing we don't want to see when we're kind of flipping through and looking at the charts is we don't want to see Solana or Ethereum start to break down, and you'll see Bitcoin trying to fire out. And that would be, I guess, worst case scenario for us. I guess maybe not worst case, but that would basically, what that would tell us is that Bitcoin's kind of doing a little false breakout to the upside. It's going to at least pull back, and Solana and Ethereum are kind of going to lead it down for maybe a little bit, and then we'll turn around and we'll break back up to the upside. So, yeah, who knows? You know, we'll see what happens here. We did have a nice rejection off that 21 though, so we'll see how it reacts the rest of the candle. Got about 7.5 minutes to go or so before we get that candle closed. See where it heads to. Got a dry throat this morning. Yeah. We'll see. Definitely is a nice setup for the upside. So if we're able to get it, then that'll be a nice trade. We did have a similar setup on Monday. Ended up kind of, it ended up not playing out really at all. We kind of just rode sideways, and that's where we thought maybe we'd get it yesterday, and we kind of played it through. We can actually go back and look at them. So if we throw on yesterday's price action, you can see there wasn't much of a upside. There wasn't an upside or downside really. It was kind of just in the middle. Looked like a lot of sideways chop here. Yeah, just a whole lot of nothing. But if we go back to Monday, you can see that we had a pretty nice trade here to the upside. Where's the wow, yeah, okay, yeah. So this is the gap here. So from all the way up here on the breakout line all the way down here to the daily resistance line right there. So you can see it's a pretty big gap. Had a little bit of a fire to the upside, but the main issue was just that we broke out and ran, and we didn't really look back. By the time you kind of got to pull back, it was already kind of too late. We already had actually hit target 2 by then. So good setup. It just wasn't really in the cards for that day to take off. We needed our one thing we were kind of looking at is with the gap between these two. Basically what was happening is the chart was kind of telling you it was in that exhaustion state. And so we fired up a little bit, and then it kind of just pulled off, and we started to trade sideways to down for a little bit here, and now we're starting to see that fire off start to happen. So we'll see where we can go from here. So we'll go ahead and get back to today. All right. Yeah, not much has happened since we went back in time, you know. It's all about the same. A little bit of a Darth Maul candle. Nothing crazy. Looks like we're forming a little bit of a flag here. Just kind of something like that. Nothing amazing, I guess, in terms of flag drawings. Takes us up almost to target 2. That's always a good sign, I guess. We don't put too much stock in patterns. We like to trade more daily support and resistance we get from math. So, you know, not that we like have anything against patterns or anything like that. It's just we're not. I guess that's just not something we're really good at trading. So it's not something that we really look for. We just have a hard time just, you know, like finding them and finding the correct ones, because, you know, you could always say patterns are different things, which is kind of what makes it hard. You know, you could be like, oh, this is a flag to the upside, and somebody else might be like, oh, well, we started to break down here and now we're flagging, like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a little bit, I guess, harder to explain, but basically just you can draw a pattern. You can draw as many lines on the chart as you want. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go up or down, and a lot of times you actually see patterns kind of break out to the opposite way, and sometimes even, well, a lot of times even do like little fake out to one side and then break out to the other side. So just overall a little harder. You know, it's like anything. You kind of just find what you're good at, you stick with it, you learn more and more about it. Patterns are just not really our thing here at Kabroda, so we're more into the support and resistance, but that doesn't mean they're not there, and you know, you can still use them for TA. It's just we just kind of use them to kind of confirm, I guess, what we're already thinking. So, you know, we're think it's going to go up to the upside. There's definitely a pattern for the upside forming. You know, not that I guess you just look for that, but it just another box to check in terms of just looking at your chart and being like, oh, are we going to go up? Just another factor that's like, okay, yeah, that's setting up there, so possibly some more upside trade there coming in. So I don't know, just more confirmation that we're probably gonna go to the upside here. Yeah, could be a little bit, you know. Who knows? In terms of time, it could be in the next 15-minute candle. Could be this one even. We still got another minute and a half or so. So, you know, who knows? But yeah, who knows what it's like. Yeah, we could, you know, we could break down still. Could break down, come down here a little bit, get a little bit of a false breakout to the downside, and then break out to the upside. Never know. See, this is what I was talking about with a little bit of difference. You can see Solana is continuing to push down, whereas Bitcoin's trying to like pull off of its 21. It's not breaking down as hard. Ethereum's also just like Solana, just trying to break down. Not quite as aggressive, but definitely still breaking down, whereas BTC's kind of pulling back off of its 21 here. Just interesting to kind of, watch and keep an eye on. It's definitely something that we've noticed will kind of play out, and something you got to watch for as the charts kind of run. All right, that's another close here. Close below our predator line. Not a huge deal. Just still waiting. Like I said, we could get that breakdown here. Who knows? Doesn't really matter for us though. And yep, here you go. See, I was saying Solana was kind of showing strength to the downside here, whereas Bitcoin was kind of fighting to stay off that 21. And then we set up the next candle. We kind of just start to break down. It's fallen pretty closely. Ethereum is similar as well. Can't really see it. It's behind my predator low line, but definitely setting up here. Yeah, interesting day today. And it could be later today, that we get to trade. Could be all Central Standard Time, but it could be around 10 or possibly even 11 before we see the trade happen. Could be this candle, it's really just, you never know. You just kind of got to sit and watch. Nice thing is we're not in anything yet, so we don't have to worry about the possibility of getting stopped out or anything by it going down. Just enjoying watching price action. This is where you can kind of practice your TA as well, just kind of looking at it and trying to decide which way we're going to break out, which way we're going to go. Obviously, you're not throwing any money on the table, but you're just kind of watching it, just trying to see what you can figure out. Obviously, we are leaning pretty heavily on the long here. That's what we're thinking is going to happen. Like I said, the win is what we don't know, and we just got to wait for it to happen, really. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, another Darth Maul candle kind of forming here on all three charts. Little wick to the downside, wick to the upside, and now we're kind of sitting in the middle. Sitting in the middle. We're kind of fighting this 21 here on the 15-minute on Bitcoin. Same, I guess, with Solana and Ethereum as well. They're kind of below, though, already. So, who knows, could be telling us that Bitcoin's going to break down below its 21 here. Could just be that they broke down. They're going to come back up through them pretty soon. Follow suit with Bitcoin. Solana's starting to show signs of life here with a little bit of a breakup. All the other ones are kind of still trying to go down. But Solana's showing a little bit of life here. So possibility, I guess, Solana's gonna lead us back to the upside. Seems like Solana tends to front run BTC a lot. I don't know why that is, but yeah, typically what you'll see a lot of times is Solana will start to move up, BTC will start to move up, or Solana starts to move down, BTC starts to move down. So, you know, like Ethereum will do it too as well. And then sometimes Bitcoin will actually be running the market, and you'll see the other two kind of follow in with that. But yeah, who knows? Like I said, we're just waiting around until one of them, till one of the directions is picked. Could be a little bit. Could be a little bit. Never know. Just a lot of waiting around. Good time to go get some coffee. Kind of keep the charts on your phone, I guess. Get, if you haven't already, you know, just get some stuff like that. Brew it all up. Get something to sip on while you watch the charts. Yeah, not a whole lot of interesting stuff, I guess. Just a lot of waiting. But you know, like I said, it's a time that I guess it's kind of what makes a pro trader. You know, if you're gonna just jump into something like this because you know it's eventually gonna go up, that's kind of where you get screwed. That's where price will come down and hit your stop, get you out. You just jumped in too early. So it's always a good character trait to just wait around and jump in when the chart tells you the system sets up. That's makes for a good trader, you know. Yeah, as of right now, still nothing. Still nothing. Solana is having a nice little breakdown here. Looking like we're probably going to pull Bitcoin down as well. And probably Ethereum as well, I guess, too. Yeah, Solana is just not ready for that up move yet. So it's definitely looking like Bitcoin's going to come down a little bit more here. Not following very tightly with Solana today, I guess. Ethereum's like not moving almost right now. Just kind of sitting right behind this predator low zone where you can't see it. Solana's still breaking down below our 30-minute range here on Solana. Kind of breaking down into, really probably trying to tap this zone here. These zones on my chart, well, you know, the ones up here, the yellow one here and the red one, as well as this green one down here. These are all different longer time frames, support and resistance zones that we have on their charts. It's our Kabroda Intel indicator, so it's kind of the one that shows just kind of where price action kind of could go. Typically what we've seen is it actually lines up pretty close with Bookmap. Just takes the longer time frames and shows levels where there's possible liquidity here on the chart. That's what we kind of been working on as well with our newer one, where like these yellow zones down here that I was kind of talking about, with price kind of breaking down into them. These ones are, I would say, a little more accurate in terms of seeing like actually where price action is going to kind of hit and slow down or stop, or even flip. But yeah, really all of these are kind of below us, so nothing really exciting about it today. In terms of the upside, we just got this one zone right here at the entry, so pretty interesting. We'll need to break past that to continue up. Overall though, not too bad, because if we get above that, that'll tell us that it's time to enter. So you know, all kind of works together for us in the long run. Solana's still trying to break down here, so we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. Ethereum's still right around the same level it was earlier. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what happens. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and throw them in the chat. We'll try to get answers for y'all. Even if they're anything from like basic TA, talking about our system. Maybe just have a question on how to change the candlestick color or something like that. I can try to help you with any of those. No, been around for a little bit, so I can definitely help with pretty much most stuff. Any kind of TA questions or anything like that. Even if it's not completely related to our system, we can go ahead and check it out. See what we're thinking about it. Yeah, here's the breakdown here on BTC, getting a little bit more of a full candle here. Starting to follow suit with Solana as well. Not quite as much of a breakdown still, but it is following a little closer, you know, with that breakdown starting to happen. We'll probably go till 9:30 and see if this is setting up. It's kind of still hanging around or breaking down like it is right now. We'll just leave it how it is. Let you guys kind of watch it for today, and then yeah, we'll come back. We'll be back tomorrow at 8:30 CST again to jump back on and see how the trade went, and also talk about tomorrow's trade. So yeah, that's kind of we'll let it play out. You know, another candle or so basically of watching. It's really really up in the air, like which way we're gonna go. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. Yeah, the most fun time of trading is always the wait, you know, the anticipation. Anticipation before the move. Solana's kind of just holding down there. Bitcoin got the spike, but I guess we kind of spiked down into this resistance or support zone, sorry, and that's kind of sitting here. We're kind of cleaning out the stops or whatnot that are right here. We'll see if we do break down from that. Technically, the next zone is kind of this blue zone here, right around our magnet trade to the downside that we were talking about earlier. It's not there though. Like I was saying, it's too small of a gap, so not worth. Well, one, not worth it when you look at risk to reward, but also just not worth it in general. Just not a great, not great, and we don't have any kind of gap percentage or anything like that, so we're not looking to take it down really. The only thing we'd be looking to take down is Solana or ETH, I guess. Both of them, though, have quite a ways before they get to that breakdown range. Not like BTC, where we're pretty close already to that breakdown range. Oh, yeah. Gotta do a little stretch. Gotta be ready. Get your trigger finger warmed up. Ready for some little clicking. coming. We'll be hopefully seeing that breakout to the upside here pretty soon. All right, here's that last 15-minute candle. We'll check out, see how this one does. We might end up, you know, doing a little bullish engulfing. Maybe we'll stay on, check it out a little bit more. But if it's more of the same, we'll probably just hold off, wait off. If we do turn here, we're kind of forming a little bit more of a better pattern here. That pattern I drew earlier was a little ugly, honestly, in terms of just, you know, how the pattern kind of looked, I guess. You want the flags to kind of look a little more like this. Like I said, that will take us up. Well, this one, if we do it this with this flag, it'll take us around T1 a little bit farther. But again, we are more than likely going to hit that T2 range just because the distance between our gap is exactly where T2 is, so that's where we're wanting to hit. That's definitely the most likely out of them. A little bit of a breakup here. Solana's following suit as well. And then Ethereum. Ethereum's kind of following suit as well as two. We're a little bit below that 21 still here on Ethereum and on Bitcoin. Solana is starting to see that up move though, so there's a possibility here we start to break out, come out of this bottom, kind of suck the liquidity out of our range here on Bitcoin. So we'll see what happens. I guess there's a possibility we drop here a little bit lower and get some more zone. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. This is looking like the pattern we're forming though. I don't know. If we drop a little lower though, we might would kind of ruin the pattern there in terms of the one I have on there right now. Doesn't mean we can't be forming another one, but not this one. So we'll have to kind of be on the lookout for what other kind of pattern are we forming if we're not forming this kind of pattern. See what happens. Yeah, nice little flag. Looking like some moves to the upside. Still got about another 11 minutes or so on this candle. 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes or so. Again, yeah, Solana not looking great with that wick there below. Nice big wick to the upside. You know, not a great wick. Ethereum we can't even see, you know, it's behind the spreader line thing. There we go. Got a little bit of a close on top. Solana trying to flip bearish on this candle, so I think Solana's trying to come down a little bit lower. Let's want to take out this area probably on Solana, if not even come down, maybe even test the daily support before we break back up to the upside. That would mean Bitcoin will probably break down a little bit lower. Maybe we'll come down, kind of hit our, you know, where our stop would be for our trade, and then flip and start to break to the upside a little bit. Again, it's really all up in the air. All up in the air right now. Oops, didn't do that. Here we go. Solana's breaking into its zone a little bit here. Rejecting off of it, I guess. Yeah, you know. I don't know. I don't know. Definitely just waiting for that upside move here. Yeah, it's been a pretty rough month, trading wise. You know, been kind of all over the place. So we're thinking that we're kind of coming out of that a little bit, starting to pick a little bit of a direction. Looking like it's going to be the upside. We'll see what happens. You know, next couple days, next week or so, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's looking like we're kind of coming out of this down month, or not even down, just not great price action month, just kind of a sale price action, I guess. Just not, yeah, it's just not great. So we're kind of coming out of that a little bit. It's looking promising to the upside, so we'll see what happens. You know, we could really go either way. We don't mind as long as the price is kind of picking their direction. System can go up, system can go down. So really, the worst thing we could do is just kind of that sideways, just chop, not a lot of nothing. Just makes it pretty boring as far as the system goes. Makes it hard to, yeah, just you know, trade within that. Hanging around. See it. Solana is getting a little bit of a break up here, so it kind of bounced off of that resistance zone or support zone, sorry, that I was talking about here in the red. So looking pretty decent for a little bit of an up move. If we see Solana start to climb out, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both going to follow suit. Ethereum's kind of leading the way with a little bit more of a wick to the upside, a little bit more of a run to the upside. So we'll see how far that can push. Solana is definitely leading the market here, though, with in terms of calling out which way price is going to go. And right now it still wants to go down. And if you remember, you know, Solana did not have an uptrade today, so they're at least on the system. So there's, you know, there's the possibility to kind of just sit sideways or even start to go down, just because Solana's kind of leading that way. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said too. You know, if Bitcoin and Ethereum are just going to go up, then they're going to go up, and it doesn't really matter what Solana's doing. But yeah, just something to keep an eye on, I guess. Got another 6.5 minutes or so, a little under 6.5 minutes before the candle close, before we see what's going to happen. We'll end up just watching it for the rest of the day on the stream, or not being on the stream, but just watching it for the rest of the day on your own charts. But yeah, feel free to ask anything in the comments. We're looking, we'd love to help y'all catch, answer some questions, help y'all learn some learn some different tips and tricks, stuff like that. That's what we're here for. It's what the channel is really for. And you can leave them on any of our videos. We try to respond to all of our comments, so if you're interested in something or trying to figure something out, just throw a comment on one of our videos. More than likely we'll try to answer it within the next couple days, if not even that day. depends on when you throw it on there, I guess. Yeah, BTC breaking down a little bit. We kind of cleaned out that whole zone now. Filled it out. Solana did the same. Looking nice for Solana. We got our we got the pull where Solana's trying to pull down to kind of filled. So looking like Solana's ready to break to the upside a little bit. We'll see how price action plays out. We might see down here a little bit more. Might even come down, hit this daily support here. But it's all up in the air in terms of which way we're going to go. So we'll see what happens. Bitcoin's starting to break out here as well. And Ethereum's still holding too. So, you know, once we get Solana to start flipping and showing some promising looks to the upside, we'll be able to see all of them kind of do that. Got about another 4 minutes on this chart. Yes, Solana's still breaking down. This is not too happy about it. We got about another 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Yeah, we'll see what happens today. You know, we might not even be able to trade today. It's all dependent on how price action plays out, you know. We want to see price action come up and obviously break through our top and give us that long trade. But there is still the possibility it will come down and break the bottom. And maybe even come down to the daily support. Again, no trade on BTC in terms of the downside. There's one on Ethereum and Bitcoin, or sorry, Ethereum and Solana, not Ethereum and Bitcoin. But on both Solana and Ethereum, the breakdown line is pretty far down there. So the likelihood of us actually coming down and hitting that is not very likely. So we're not super worried about, I guess, firing to the downside today. More of an upside trade, if anything. You know, downside's always a possibility. Just more than likely, we're not going to go to the ups. Not going to go to the downside. Ethereum and Bitcoin definitely want to go up. You can see them start to flip every time Solana kind of pulls back a little bit. So definitely an interesting little play here. Really, you can just tell Ethereum and Bitcoin are just waiting for Solana to kind of flip around and show us that it wants to break to the upside. So Solana's kind of holding us back right now. We'll see what it flips, what happens, but definitely looking like if Solana starts to flip around, we'll see Bitcoin and Ethereum start to fire up and probably break through their levels so we can go ahead and get in. That could be a little bit, you know. We got to wait for Solana to kind of tire itself out, run itself down, and then we'll see what happens. So yeah, just get your trades kind of set up, get them on here, so you can go ahead and watch this as we kind of go. You'll want to be, you want to be watching it throughout the day, even if it's just to track us, you know. You can track and see how well our trade did. But yeah, definitely looking like an upside trade today. Just how long will we get? How long will it be before we can kind of jump into this? Who knows? So yeah, that's probably it for this stream. It's not looking like we're gonna get it too soon. I don't want to waste y'all's time or anything. Just sitting around here listening to me talk. But yeah, we should start to see it kind of start to run back up to the upside. Once Solana kind of releases, we'll see it start to fire up. More than likely, we'll get in here pretty soon. I don't know how many candles, maybe 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 by 10:30 or so, another what's that, another 4 candles or so, maybe we'll start to be firing up there. Yeah, really depends. We'll just have to watch price action and see what happens. But yeah, make sure you throw these trades on your chart. You can go ahead and pause the video, take a screenshot of both this one and also Ethereum. But yeah, we're just we're looking to take it up. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, and wait for them to tell us we can enter. So yeah, hopefully that all made sense. Yeah, just thank you for watching. Thanks for supporting our channel. Thank y'all who are subscribed. If you're not subscribed and you like our stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Helps us grow, helps us reach more people, and kind of yeah, just teach more people how to get on the road to financial freedom through trading. So yeah, if you guys think of any ways you think we can improve, go ahead and throw those in the comments as well. But other than that, yeah, check out our video at 10. It's going to be a good one, kind of covering yesterday's price action, maybe throw in a little advanced techniques we've been kind of working on, and then also yeah, just talking about in general TA and the longer time frames and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. We will catch you all tomorrow at 8:30 CST, 8:30 a.m. CST again. So yeah, make sure you don't miss that. If you guys are worried about missing it, hit that bell notification. That'll give you notifications for our channel, and yeah, that way you won't miss either our live or any of our videos coming out. So yeah, thank y'all for watching, and we will catch y'all next time. Happy trading to y'all.